what is an array and how to write it and how to look at it. So, and how to display. So in this video, we're going to learn a few more things about arrays. We're going to learn how to process information from an array, and it's done the same way as a variable would be. So we're going to do an example of the pay array. So we're going to figure out some employees' pay. So we're going to say final int employees. We have 5 of them. And then we're going to say double pay rate and gross pay. So throughout this here, we're going to assume that each employee gets paid the same amount of money. To hold employee hours, so we're going to say int hours equal new int, and then it's going to be the length of 5 because we have 5 employees. And then now we're going to do scanner keyboard new scanner system.in. So many pop-ups. There we go. And then we are now going to get the hours worked by each employee. So we're just going to say system.out.print line, enter hours below. I'm just leaving it vague. And then now we're going to do a for loop. So we're going to say for int index equals 0, index is less than employees, index plus plus, and then now we are just going to say system.out.print employee number plus, and then we're going to just say index plus 1 plus quote colon boom, and then we're just going to say hours sub index equals keyboard dot next int. And it's so hard when all those pop-ups are coming up. So here we're just getting the hours from the employees and storing them in the array. Then now we want to get the hourly pay rate. And so we're just going to say system.out.print hourly pay rate. And I'm going to put a $sign right there, make it look a little nice. Or actually, yep, perfect. And then we're just going to say pay rate equals keyboard next double. And then here we are going to now process the information. So we're going to just say system.out.print line employees gross pay. And then we're just going to do another for loop. For int index equals 0, index less than employees, index plus plus. And then we're just going to say our gross pay equals, and now we're going to do hours sub index, so it's going to get the value at whatever it is at that when it's running. And we're going to multiply that by our pay rate. Like I said, we're assuming everyone gets the same amount of money. So system.out.print line. And then we're going to say employee number plus index plus 1 plus quote colon $sign plus gross pay. And that's how we process this. So if I run this, employee 1, let's say they worked 15 hours. Employee 2 worked 8. Let's say 45 hours. Employee 4 worked 85 hours. And employee 5 also worked 90 hours. And they each get paid $15.75. And this is how much money each person makes. So as you can see, it just went through and it took the 15 times $15.75, got us $236.25. 8 times $15.75 is $126. 45, you get the idea. So every time it did that, it went through and took this information and then just multiplied it. So sometimes we don't know how long an array is. And so with that, we could also do array.length, and you'll see that here in a few minutes when we do another example. And then also there is another type of loop. It's called the enhanced for loop. The enhanced for loop is really simple. So I'm going to delete everything and just show you guys the enhanced for loop. So this is the enhanced for loop. And so this enhanced for loop looks very similar to what we've already done. So I'm just creating a new quick array. Boom, 3, 6, 9. Okay, very short array. And then for the enhanced for loop, we first write for, then we create a variable inside of here. So I'm going to create int val, because this variable here, the data type has to match the data type of the array. And then the second part right here, I write the name of the array. And then here I'm just going to say system.out.print, and then I'm going to print val plus quote space. And I'm going to put spaces. That's it. This is the enhanced for loop 369. And that's it. That's a very simple, quick explanation of the enhanced for loop. And we can do more with this. So if I want it to do, I could put it into curly braces, and then we take each of these values, and I could say val times 3. So we could write system.out.print, and then I'm going to take each value, times it by 3, and then let's put make it a new line for each one. So we should get 6, no, we should get 9, 20, 8, 9, 18, 27. So, boom. So 3 times 3 is 9, 6 times 3 is 18, so it's just displaying it in a different way. So that is how the enhanced for loop works. Okay, it's very similar to the regular for loop. All it is it cuts out a little bit, so it processes everything through the array. So here we're going to, in this last example, we're going to let the user define how big the array is going to be. So we're going to say int num tests, int array of tests. So we don't know how many tests the user wants to enter in yet, so that's why we did not define that for the array. Scanner keyboard equal new scanner system.in. And then here I want to get the number of tests. So I'm going to say system.out.print how many tests were given. And then I'm just going to say num tests equals keyboard dot next int. And then now we want to get the individual test scores for int index equals 0. Index is less than because we don't know how many tests were entered in by the user. We're going to say now the name of our array, which is tests dot length. And you notice I'm not putting parentheses here because for an array you just put dot length and then index plus plus. And then we do everything else very much the same. I skipped a step. Here we go. So now I need to create an array to hold the test scores. So now I'm going to say tests equals new int and then num tests. There we go. Now we can process this. So system.out.print test score number plus index plus 1 plus boom, and then tests sub index equals keyboard next int. And then now we just want to display. So now we want to display the results. display the test scores, because I couldn't type results for some reason. So let's just do an empty line real quick. And then now I'm going to say system.out.println test scores. And then we can do that enhanced for loop now. So the book wants us to write it as an actual loop, but I'm just going to do it as an enhanced for loop. We can do it int val, or I can say int scores, colon tests. And then here I'm just going to say system.out.print, and then I'm going to just say val plus quote space semicolon. So we're going to run this. Oh, because I wrote scores. There we go. How many tests were given? I only got 3 tests. Test score 1, 90, 35, 88, 89. And then it will just display the test scores that I entered in. So that is how we are using the dot length, because we don't know how many the person entered. That's why we would use that dot length. And then here, this is just that enhanced for loop again, showing you another example of that. In our next video, we're going to learn how to copy elements from one array to another array.